Manchester United 3, Aston Villa 1. And what can I say, bruv? Like, back to winning ways, back to regular scheduled programming. This is what we do now. Do you know what I'm saying? Carrick's tricky Reds, bruv. This is what we do now. We win games. After the Newcastle loss, people were going on like it was the worst thing that could have possibly happened, completely ignoring the fact that it was our first loss this year. It was our first loss under Michael Carrick. And we created the better of the chances. And that's a common theme that we're starting to see in these games. We're creating more than the other teams. And more often than not, we're scoring more than them and we're winning games, bruv. We're going in the right direction. This is a team that people forget. We're struggling to keep clean sheets. We're struggling to defend under Ruben Amorim, whilst also struggling to score goals. We have rectified both of those situations. And then on top of that, we're playing with a confidence. We're playing with an assuredness as well, where Villa scored. We scored straight back. We keep doing that. We keep doing that to teams. We can see the goal. And then before that they can even settle and get a bit of momentum, we're back in the game. Like, we've scored again. Like, there's a certain stubbornness, there's a certain resilience, there's a certain confidence, a certain swagger that we're starting to play with. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, the good spells of the game they're not consistent at the moment, but I think that's more down to personnel. Like, we don't have a load of players that are really, really good at retaining possession under pressure. Like, when teams let us have the ball, we can move the ball about. Do you know what I'm saying? We've seen that. But when teams really want to mix it up with us, like we saw against Newcastle, like, we just lack that little bit of quality and press resistance through the middle of the pitch. And I think that with a midfield revamp in the summer, we can massively combat that. And then when you look at our back line as well, like I pointed out during the watch along, you could argue that we got four defenders unavailable that arguably could all start with Dorgu, Mazraoui, De Ligt and Lissandro. So when you look at the way we're defending, irrespective of the personnel we're putting out, you have to put that structural stuff down to Steve Holland and Michael Carrick, who've done an immense job. And all they've done is further expose just how bad Ruben Amorim actually was, bro. Because there was 1,000,001 excuses for that fraud when he was at Manchester United. But now there's no more excuses that can be made. Michael Carrick has shown, that either he's a massively underrated coach, or Ruben Amorim is a complete fraud and he should never work again. And the truth is probably somewhere in between both of those. Because a lot of the Man United fans, or like the pundits or ex-Man United players, saying that Michael Carrick shouldn't be given a Man United job based on the results he's getting, these are all the same guys that were saying that Amorim was a top coach and he was a good coach and talking about what he's won and his metrics. So by that same measure, if Amorim's actually a good coach and the players were letting him down, then Carrick has to be an absolute worldie of a coach then, if we're using the same logic. And this is the problem. Like, the accuracy and the consistency in which people use the criticism of Carrick and the criticism of these players is crazy. These guys are flip-flopping all over the place. When Erik ten Hag had some of these players, it's because they weren't good enough is the reason why the results weren't happening. It had nothing to do with the fact that Erik ten Hag was a shit coach. It had nothing to do with that. It was just the players. Now the players are getting results now. It's not Michael Carrick either. So what is it? And this is the beauty of today. Today was a massive game. Like, it's weird because I listened to the game. Well, I don't listen to the game. I watched the game on mute. So I don't know how much importance they were giving this game in the build-up. But the way I rationalized it was that this is third against joint third, or third against fourth. We are 11 points behind Aston Villa. We were 11 points behind Aston Villa when Michael Carrick took over. And they're one of the teams that are going to be challenging us for the top 4 spots. So for me, if we draw, we're stuck in the same place that we were before the game. We don't learn anything. If we lose, then we end up back behind Aston Villa. It was just not a game that we could afford to drop points in my opinion, especially at home and at this stage of the season. And coming up off the back of a loss here where people were going on like it was the end of the world, if we go and lose 2 games in a row, all of a sudden, the fear-mongering around Carrick and all this other nonsense here, that's already been happening anyway, it goes into overdrive. If United lose 2 games in a row, it's Carrick had a new manager bounce, he's been found out, XYZ, yada, yada, yada. That's all the chat is about, you know. The chat's not about the good chances that we created today. It's not going to be about none of that. Do you know what I mean? Some people are giving Martinez loads of credit for the Ahmad save. I think it's a save that a goalkeeper of his level should be making anyway. But for argument's sake, yeah, we're the team, yeah, we were the better team over the course of the game. We created by far the better chances. Do you know what I mean? Towards the end of the game, yeah, when the game's already lost, yeah, right at the end, we had a little brain fart moment where they could have got one back, but we was relatively comfortable for the whole game. We actually was. So, I can't lie. Like, the narratives around this game would have been so crazy, yeah, had we not gone on to win. And this is why I'm glad we won. Because it keeps the momentum up. It shows that, that loss was a blip. And it was a blip. Because we were the better team. People are turning around and saying, oh, actually, Newcastle were not the better team. We created the better chances. And if we had taken our chances, yeah, we would have won that game comfortably again. Like, Newcastle weren't creating bare chances, bruv. They scored a worldie, bruv. And they scored a penalty. That was it. Like, Newcastle weren't doing nothing. But the revisionism and the results-based analysis here is so jarring. But we have to put up with it, innit? Newcastle weren't in no danger of doing us nothing. All of a sudden, we didn't deserve the win. So this game would have been more of the same. Because we created by far the better chances. If we end up drawing this game 1-1, people are saying Carrick's been found out. United can't play against low blocks. The players aren't good enough. The manager's not good enough. All of these things. Now, all of a sudden, we've won. And then sunshine and rainbows now. Everyone's going to talk about how good these player performances were, how good Michael Carrick's been, and all these other things, bro. And it's just like, bruv, it's boring. It's boring, innit? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, the issues, yeah, for the most part, was never really the players in terms of where we were finishing. Like, we nearly finished in relegation zone last season. That's not on the players. That was on the coach, because we don't have players that should be down there. Could the players be doing more? Yes. But if you got a manager that's not setting them up properly, yeah, that doesn't mean, yeah, that Man United, that's the level of their team. Look where Spurs are this season compared to us. Look where they are. We both finished in similar positions, yeah. We went out and spent money in the summer. We recruited better than Tottenham. We've got a better manager than Tottenham. And look where we are, bro. So, the proof is in the pudding, mate. We've done extremely well to be where we are and to feel how we feel. The fact that all of a sudden Man United fans are getting standards now and they want to critique every single breath that Michael Carrick takes. But when Ruben Amorim was getting bent over every week, man were pointing fingers at players. That's what they were doing. And saying, Ineos haven't backed the manager. Even though they literally gave man a whole new front three, blood. And a new goalkeeper. But man will turn around and say he wasn't backed, bro. And then when you look at our best players, yeah, in this little run, these men have been in there. These men have been in there. The guys. Sesko is about to hit double figures in the league. New signing. Cunha bagged again today. And he's improving. Mbumo wasn't great today again, but he's put up his fair share of numbers. Like, all these guys are pulling their weight. And Lomans, he's been brilliant since he's come in. Like, statistically, one of the best goalkeepers in the Premier League since he's come in. Maybe even the best. So, a lot of positives there. But people still want to moan, bruv. Like, for me, there's no negatives from today. None whatsoever. We won a game that, in my opinion, we was under a lot of pressure to win just because we're off the back of a loss. We won it, and we won it comfortably in the end. We defended well. Players' form, Sesko's form, big positive. Another 2 assists for Bruno today. I thought Kobe controlled the tempo of the midfield really well when we went ahead, and we needed to take the sting out of the game. Kobe helped with that. Casemiro, fans singing 1 more year, brother. I wish we could get 1 more year with Cas, because we can't replace him. There's not a single player in world football right now, yeah, that man say, yo, if we get him right now, he's going to be able to replace everything that Casemiro gives us, because just the experience alone is just a cheat code with Cas, bruv. And his aerial abilities are a joke. They're actually a joke, bruv. Another goal for this guy. A guy that's known as a destroyer, a combative midfielder, and this guy chips in with his fair share of goals, and important goals as well. I don't know how we're going to replace Cas. Ahmad today as well, like, Michael Carrick showing that he's learned from his mistakes. Ahmad wasn't getting as many minutes. And bro, Ahmad came in, his defensive work rate, he's a two-way player, and also he's one of the few players in our attack that have a little bit of guile where you think that they can carve and do little things, bro. He's an important player for us. Like, I think that a lot of people have misprofiled Brian, and he's probably better. He's better, probably better in that false 9 position than as like an out-and-out winger, because I just don't think he's got the legs, and I don't think he's cute enough. Like, he ain't got the jinx in it. You don't really have that to be an out-and-out winger, bruv. So that's going to be interesting to see how that unfolds. I wouldn't say that Brian was a bad signing, but I think that he's a player that we need to rotate in and out of the team, innit? So Cunha, like, proper, like, people were talking about Cunha walking and doing all these other things before we signed him, yeah. The way he sacrifices himself for the team, yeah, and he's even starting to hug the touchline more. You can see that he's growing into that role. He's never played as like a left winger before, innit? And you can see, like, at the beginning, he was drifting and he wasn't really enjoying it. But now he's taking people down the outside, putting crosses in. Like, he's been class, man. He's been class. I'll be honest, like, the most encouraging thing that I'm seeing about this team is this is a team of players that are playing for each other. Players are sacrificing themselves for the team. I think Kobe's playing almost like a number 6 now. His natural inclinations are to run forward. He's being a lot more disciplined, allowing Cas to get forward, Bruno to get forward. And I just think that the players are playing with some real confidence, real belief. Lenny Euro today, quality. Harry Maguire did his thing, bro. You know what I mean? Luke Shaw done his thing today. Dallo has the usual brain farts, but again, solid for the most part, bro. Like, you can't fault no one. And the goalkeeper didn't have a lot to do, but when he had to do it, he did it well. This is who we are now. So it's funny how one result today, yeah, this win, if this win is a draw or a loss, it goes from United's new manager Bants to have they been found out, doom and gloom, yeah, from, yo, like, we're comfortably 3rd in the league, won another game, scoring loads of goals, not conceding loads of goals. Everyone's happy, bro. Like, this fan base is still one result away from complete crash out, bro. Like, and we need some balance, innit? Like, this is a massive result. You know what I'm saying? Like, everyone should be enjoying this. For me, there's no negatives from today's game, only positives. Like, I'm looking at the rest of the season, and I think that there's not really any teams that I'm seeing that we're playing that we should be losing to. 2nd place might be on. It really might be on.